And imagine if he doesn't have 2 DNFs. We're probably talking about this championship as like one of the best. And like then Luke is going to Thunder Valley like, oh gosh, you have a 6-point lead. That's kind of scary. Welcome back to the DNX Colt Moto MXGP show. And Ed, what a pretty interesting weekend we had at MXGP of Italy. First and foremost, what did you think of the track, dude?
Yes, it was certainly unique, mate. It was a little bit of a change up from the ruts or sand that we normally have in MXGP. Very old school-esque. Anyone, or mostly riders I spoke to, even the younger ones that were not even born when I was referring to, but it just struck me as typical early 2000s MXGP. If you went on YouTube and looked up 2000 MXGP racing, one popped up, which is a hardback, it would look like that. And I don't think Montevacchi's had many changes since its last Grand Prix in 2006. My opinions on the track, definitely wouldn't want to ride it. Definitely wouldn't want to race it. Definitely didn't want to be anywhere near it in terms of if from a rider's perspective and viewing, like it's hardly a venue that jumped off the page and I thought, oh my God, I feel like I'm at a World Championship motocross event. However, all in all, it did provide actually some really good racing in both classes. There, you could definitely make a counter argument to my negative comments about, it was very unique in a way where you're watching riders create their own grip and it's a completely different way of racing. And because it was so unique, the places where people are passing were kind of, or attempting to make a pass, could have been anywhere. I feel like Fares is a good example of someone who was just making it happen sort of wherever he wanted to put the bike. He looked like he was in a sort of a league of his own. And then you can say like Fev in I think it was the race 1 of MXGP, maybe even the quali race. I can't quite remember now, but there was definitely riders who were showcasing their ability around a track like that, which was cool. However, I wouldn't want to have loads of them rounds on the calendar. And I think the weather didn't help either. Like it was, for European terms, it was ridiculously hot. So
Yeah,
all in all,
yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it was like so hot over there.
It was awful.
And I have a couple points on the track too, but before I say that, I think in the Colt Moto interviews, you mentioned something that they didn't have like water, or they didn't have enough water potentially for the track.
Yes.
Is that why they didn't rip it deep and or like water it constantly?
Yeah, there was murmurs that there was it Philandron who said that in the interview? I can't quite remember which rider said it, but someone definitely said that there was, to me, one of the riders, that there was not enough water to water the track or like be able to do certain track prep, which, if true, I'm not confirming it is true, but if that is true, that's, I'd say a bit far from ideal, let's be perfectly honest, but the Saturday was way worse. That was like a complete dust bowl. Like in time practice, that's when you see Ruben have a massive crash, which then ultimately took out Kai. Like that shows the stupid dangers of when it was that dusty and crappy. But Sunday was a little bit better. Thankfully, it rained a bit, which ultimately made it slicker probably in some spots. But then there was actually a bit of soil which had some moisture in it, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, on Saturday, before Pro Motocross, I was watching it, and that's why we didn't get the reactions out for the qualifying race. It's just like they did like a delay in the qualifying races, like for the 250 and 450 class, and I was like, what the hell is this delay? I've never seen this delay before in qualifying ever in my life, and it's probably because they had to get some water on the track, which I think they kind of did in the qualifying races, but yeah, it just reminded me of my backyard, bro. like I have desert out here, and that's just what it reminded me of. I'm like, they're riding out there. It's so dusty. Like I would not want to be out there at all. And well, I'll get to the high point in Ruben. But for the track itself, as a spectator, I'm not quite sure how people would feel like on top of the hill. Right, because I feel like maybe there's a point on top of the hill where you can see the whole track down below, if that kind of makes sense, where like you're viewing it all the way down. There's also like the grandstands on like one section straightaway. Like I feel like that grandstands is like one straightaway and you can't see the rest of the track after that, per se. Like maybe like the hill, like the top left hill, you could probably see a little bit. But overall, it kind of reminded me of Erne in a way with like the back and forth hill down the hill. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the track. I mean, I'm sitting here on my couch. I'm grateful that I didn't have to ride it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would not want to have ride that. But I don't think it should be on the circuit. I mean, and I'm pretty sure Zanox, shout out to him. He mentioned that like the Italian championship that they've been there a couple times, the track was so much better. So
yeah,
I wonder if, like I said, that water issue is what caused it to be so much worse than, like, say, the Italian championship, like prep.
Yeah, he did touch on, like, there was I think they race it every year in the Italian championship, but I know there was the international there in 2025 when that could have been Lucas's first race win on 450, I believe. He didn't finish on the podium, but he had like a crappy second race. But anyway, I digress. That's not important right now. But yeah, I think all in all, even if they could water the track, go like, let's say there was suffice water, and that's all a load of rubbish, it would have been quite hard to actually make that racetrack a lot better. Like, even let's say the dirt's perfect, like there's such minimal room for error. Like, for example, if Ruben's crash was a little bit different, he could like spit himself over a fence, and then you're like worst case scenario. And touching on how the spectators would feel or what they could see, I had a walk around there during when I say it was time practice, just to get some couple clips for the Instagram, and I was getting violently angry because it was stupidly hot. I had to walk around. It looked like Erzberg walking around and up it, and you couldn't see anything. Really? It was rubbish, and it was pretty packed because it's so tight and compact.
Yeah.
It was like, unless you got there probably at 8 a.m. for the first EMX practice, you're not going to get close enough to the fence. I don't know. I guess a spectator's not trying to video the crazy clips to go on Instagram to sort of display what the track looks like. So maybe it was good enough to like just see the general consensus of what's happening. But no, mate, I hope that this is then back off the calendar and does not return for a long while, because just 0 out of 10.
They only put it on the circuit, right? Because Erne's Motocross Nations.
Yeah, you don't normally have the
nations.
Track.
Yeah. Okay. And okay, so let's get into some racing. All right. Let's start with the guys that crashed on Saturday, and so Ruben had a nasty crash, as you brought up, and that looked horrible. You can only really see on the broadcast like the back portion of it. Like, I couldn't really determine what necessarily happened. It kind of looked like he swapped. It kind of looked like that. And then I never saw the Kai clip. Like, I never saw how Kai crashed. I'm assuming, just based off what I've heard, that he crashed with Ruben, is Ruben's bike was in the way. Kai had nowhere to go and ran into the bike. That's what I'm assuming.
Yes, that is what happened. I haven't seen a video of it, but I know he just landed on his bike. And then, to be fair, like, probably because I wasn't doing as many laps around the paddock because of the heat, just trying to like chill out in between, I didn't really go and, or even really cross my mind to go and like ask, is Kai okay? I just got to come back into the media center, and they filled me in that he landed on his bike, and then I saw what you would have seen of Ruben's crash, which was pretty nasty. Somehow he was all right to ride on Sunday, which is just a testament to his strength and all that. But yeah, like you could see in the qualifying race, Kai got an all right start, and then just a couple laps couldn't really hack it, which is fair enough. We know his sort of history with them, with sort of that misfortune, and it's pretty unfortunate timing because he has been doing unbelievably well, and if anything, just continuously getting better, even if sometimes the results don't show it and it's not a podium per se. He's just continuously showing positive strides towards maybe throwing his name in the hat for a moto win here soon. But now I feel like that momentum could be halted momentarily.
Yeah, and let's be fair, he could have won this weekend. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, his start was on point in that qualifying race, and he's very good in those beginning laps. And say he doesn't get hurt and he has that kind of start in the motos on Sunday, he could win because this track was so tough, to get by in that aspect, So definitely a bummer. Hopefully he's okay. Yeah, I haven't seen anything news of what even is injured, to be fair. I'm not even quite sure. I just hope that he's okay. Not sure how Ruben rode. I don't know how he rode at all on Sunday. So whatever place he got on Sunday, it doesn't matter. He rode. Like, that's incredible. But yeah, let's actually go to some of these results. All right. And I'm going to say it off the rip here. The TV broadcast didn't show anything after 10th place. Okay. So I'm very sorry. I have no knowledge whatsoever. Anybody after 10th place. Very sorry about that. But let's start with Jeffrey Herlings. All right. Back on top. He doesn't have a DNF. 2 weeks in a row, 2 rounds in a row. He had a DNF in each one. So he's back on top, goes 1-2, giving Timmy all Timmy can handle in that Moto number 2. But I thought, as well as what he said in your interview with him, that once he saw Lucas kind of back up, he was like, all right, I'm not even going to push this anymore. Like, the rocks, the roost, it was like way too... what's the right term here? Like, it was hurting him too much in that aspect. He was like, this roost is not fun, and I'm going to settle for a 1-2, get the first place overall. And I mean, he looked like Jeffrey Herlings out there. What is it? 116 wins now?
Yeah, he's, like, for a lack of a better term, try and stay cool with the kids. He's just a G. Like, everyone, when you first got into MXGP, I feel like you already knew how good he was in the sand. Like, it was kind of everyone around the world knows how good he is in the sand, and then it's just not, it overshadows. I think I've probably said this before. Overshadows how good he is on all terrain. Now, he does sing the praises of his HRC machine on hardpack, and certainly says it is better suited to hardpack. So maybe that helps him a little bit as well in these conditions. However, people like, after the 2 DNFs in 4 motos, I thought it was kind of inevitable that he's going to bounce back with authority, combined with Lucas a little bit, not distracted, because that's unfair, he's still got a podium, but I'd say definitely his frustrations towards the track were emphasized, because he went from pro motocross, which is, I mean, it's the American dream, even for stupid riders like me. Like, that's all I'd want to ride, and if I could choose, every time I'd ride in America over anywhere in Europe, because it's just, we hold it to such a high standard, and the track in comparison is so much more, in air quotes, fun. So if you consider that, Jeffrey to go 1-2, and we'll get on to him in a moment, but sort of assess that Lucas isn't going to push it too much to try and catch him, and maybe he's even hoping he could bait Lucas in a little bit to try and force an error on a track like that. It was much easier to make a mistake rather than gain time. And he kind of escapes some lucky moments himself. If you go in race 2, he had to pass Lucas, what was it, twice, like in the opening exchanges, because he went to go and pass Vial, or Tommy V, as the nickname is stapled on this podcast for Mr. Vial. Yeah, he went to go and make the move around him on the outside of the sort of waves or whoops, whatever you want to call them, and he nearly had maybe another DNF, making it a 3 out of 6, which would have been self-inflicted. But all in all, to bounce back from a pretty pity qualifying race from him. I think he was like, what did he start? He started outside the top 10 and finished 7th. Like, yeah, I mean, it's all he can want. Now the points deficit is in the 50s, 53, I want to say. So that sounds much better than 62. And yeah, I mean, it's what more can Jeffrey want or do at the minute than the other win? Probably getting the 3 extra points in race 2 is the only thing he'd be kicking the dust about, but he got 116 wins, and I've no doubt he's going to extend his record from rounds 10 to 19.
Yeah, it got kind of sketchy there in those rollers, bro. Like, it got very sketchy. And you know what's crazy is he got sketchy. Like you mentioned, he got past Lucas, which was great for him in that moment, right? And then he made the mistake in the rollers. Lucas got by him, and then Lucas made a mistake going like basically a Superman, both feet off the bike, over the roller, like down the hill before the left. And I wonder if that kind of like, I want to say spook like Lucas, but it kind of put him like, okay, this track is so damn tricky. Like, let me get into a good spot. Let me run his pace, see if I can pass him. And then if I can't, I'm just going to go back and like settle for like a third, right? Because what did Lucas go 3-3 on the day for? I think it was 2nd overall, right? And as you mentioned, he didn't, like, Jeffrey made up some points. He was, 62? He made up 6 points on the weekend, which is good. He's got a long season still to go. Anything can happen, as we saw like the 2 DNFs, right? Anything can honestly happen. And imagine if he doesn't have 2 DNFs. We're probably talking about this championship as like one of the best. And like then Lucas going to Thunder Valley, like, oh gosh, you have a 6-point lead. That's kind of scary, But I think for Jeffrey, it's Jeffrey, 116. He'll probably get 120 by the end of the year. I think maybe even more than that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But then going to like Lucas, who finished second here, he definitely had what's the right term? It's like withdrawals, I guess. I don't think that's the right term, but like he's going from Thunder Valley. Sacha brought it up too in the interview with you guys. He's coming from Thunder Valley, then he has to go this. He's like, bro, I don't want to ride this. Like I don't want it. Like this track is trash. Like I just went to Thunder Valley and I'm coming here so withdrawal is not the right term. I can't think of the right term, but I'm pretty like for Lucas, it was just a good ride. Like it was just consistent. He got beat. He's going to move on. He got the red plate, go to Portugal. Portugal's a much better track than Italy, right? So I think for Jeffrey, it's a good like momentum switch from the DNFs. For Lucas, it's just like, let me get out of this place because I have withdrawals from Thunder Valley, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's in Lucas's position, you want to survive it and not surrender too many points. Like if he had a Trentino weekend, let's say, and Jeffrey takes a bigger chunk out of it, then it really highlights this as a big bump in the road. However, to go surrender 7 points in on Sunday. All in all, he's going to take it as a positive. And like you said, if Jeffrey didn't get this win, and let's say he was off the box or even finished behind Lucas, he's going to probably be even more frustrated because he knows how important it is to just at least get or stop that snowball that's coming towards him, which was down a slippery slope, let's say. But I feel like them two, we always put them 1 and 2, but someone, despite battling a virus, despite just always. I'm sorry, I actually name dropped you in the interview with him as well. I should have picked up on this beforehand. But Maxim Renaux is just a reminder, despite the things he's been battling with and the illnesses, etc., is a solid podium and race win contender, which was reflected in race 1 on Sunday when to be honest, I thought he was going to get him. I thought he was going to get Jeffrey and pick up his first race win of the year. A little bit off it, just couldn't quite get it done, but for him to get third overall in 36 to 38 degree heat with a virus, shout out to Maxim Renaux. Great guy, one of many under the Cult Moto banner that we will take under with us as a friend.
That's what we love to hear. Yeah, he rode great, bro. Like Moto 1, I for sure thought he was gonna get him. Like for sure, he had some sneaky lines that were way quicker than Herlings, and I for sure thought he was gonna get him. And I didn't know that he had a sickness. Like I didn't know that. I thought like Moto 1, he just couldn't get by him. The track was tough to pass, so he got second. I was like, bro, that's a great ride. Moto 2, he definitely struggled a little bit in Moto 2, but I just thought that was based on track like position. I didn't think that he had a virus or anything. I thought it was just track position because the track was so tough to pass. They watered it. It was super slick. I mean, we saw Jeffrey with a mistake, Lucas with a mistake, and that's really what I thought. I didn't know that he was struggling with sickness. So to come out and still get third place overall, he goes 2-6 on the day for third place. That's phenomenal, and hopefully he can build on this momentum. Like we've seen a little glimpses. I feel like the last few rounds we saw glimpses of him being a little bit better, right? I mean, I would say Latvia, we'll just scrap that one. We'll just scrap it. If you remember the crash, him going that, we'll just scrap that round. But the other rounds, he was getting a little bit better and a little bit better. And I feel like this right here, third place, another podium on the year, just going to help him. Confidence booster, going to Portugal and put on a show, dude.
Yeah, I like Maxim. I feel like he's had every shitty situation thrown at him, which is, again, add to that pile with this virus that just kind of hinders any sort of momentum that you can get. He's a Grand Prix winner. He won the opening round last year and then didn't get another podium because literally in the training in between that to the second round, he injured his hand, had surgery midweek leading up to Kozar. Like, he has all the determination in the world to get it done, and he just hasn't really had the opportunity to show it. And I feel like this year he had a quite an appropriate approach to sort of trying to just be at every round and building momentum and avoid injuries per se. And he's managed that, but not illnesses, which we physically can't can't dodge, I suppose. And he definitely is searching for a little bit more with a bike. And he touched on in the interview with me at the end, sort of like how the next step of his career is so important. He can go left, right, or in the middle, which obviously he's referencing potentially staying with Yamaha or changing teams and changing avenues. Now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of movement in the MXGP paddock, or with Lucas leaving and Sacha, it opens up a seat there, and then that just allows a Jigsaw to move around a little bit. So potentially we could see Maxim on a different color machine here shortly, next year, or if he starts, I don't know, if he starts winning some Grand Prix and he feels like he can win a championship with Yamaha, then there's no reason to leave. But I definitely get the impression there's some options for him to explore, and he was really emphasizing how important the next decision in his career is, because he wants to become an MXGP world champion.
Yeah. I was listening to that, and I was kind of surprised he led. I'm kind of surprised he gave you that information, if that kind of makes sense. Like, oh yeah, there's some options on the table. Like, I thought for sure he was just gonna be like, I can't really speak about it. You know what I mean? That's what I thought he was gonna say. But I love that he was just like frank about it. He's like, yeah, we got options. And sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I feel we can kind of see that with Sexton sometimes. Now, I'm gonna say this as just like for Timmy, like sometimes it hasn't been that great, compared to like the Honda, but he's also won multiple times now. So it's like, sometimes the grass is greener, sometimes it isn't greener, if that kind of makes sense. But for Maxim, I was just looking at these results. So since Trentino, bro, he's been like 5th place in Trentino, 5th place at France. He got 4th place at Germany. And then he had the front flip at Latvia, so we're not going to count that. And now he gets a podium. So it's like, it's just building, And then like the next step is a 2nd place, a 1st place. Maybe before we go to that week off where Southwick is, I'm not quite sure which track it is. It is South Africa, actually. Maybe goes into South Africa, maybe wins it. I'm assuming South Africa is going to be hot, dry, kind of similar.
I don't think it's going to be hot as... Let me look, but I'm pretty sure it's like warm, but it's nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy, but like I would assume the track like conditions, it's going to be more of like a hard packed surface, or is it going to be like a sand track? I don't even know, to be honest. Maybe
it's quite loamy.
Okay, so
loamy, I want to say.
That would be good then, because if it's like
it's like normal weather, like 22. Well, this is Celsius, so I don't know what on earth that is in Fahrenheit, but that's pretty. I'd say that's ideal riding temperature if you're asking me. But I'm not competing in the World Championship, so what do I know?
So my point was, I thought those tracks were gonna be similar to what this weekend was, where it's gonna be like hard pack, dry. And Maxim is really good at those conditions. I mean, he's good at every condition, obviously, but so I wouldn't be surprised if he's like top 3. Going forward, even more consistent, What about race 2 hole shot guy, bro? Adamo. That was it was race 2, right? That he pulled hole shot, I believe.
Yeah, boy.
That was very nice. Home GP too, correct? If I'm not mistaken, technically home GP. I don't know how far that track is from like where he technically is from.
I think for him it's quite... I could be making this up because Italy confuses me, but I'm pretty sure for him it's fairly far away. For Zanchi, it's very close. For Latta, it was like 2 hours away. For Ferrato, now I'm worried I'm getting muddled up with Ferrato and Adamo, that could be far away. But basically, any of these rounds, if one of their countrymen is doing well, or lady, depending if WMX is there, the crowd are hyped. They're happy enough.
Yeah. And that's what I was just about to say. Like, I bet you that crowd was so hyped when Adamo pulled hole shot. And I mean, he finished great too in that moto too. Like, he didn't like let up, and
he got moved out of the way. Poor Timmy just thought, I'll stuff you over here, mate.
That's what I'm saying. Like Timmy just punted him, right? And he somehow they didn't show it on the broadcast. Somehow he just got back on the track. I don't know where he got back on the track from. Like, but he somehow got back in. He stayed in 4th, and he basically just stayed in 4th for the entire race, which was, honestly, that's good for Adamo. Like, I feel like that's a really good result, getting 4th place overall. hopefully that like next few rounds he can build on that. Maybe be in the mix, battling, Herlings, Coenen, Timmy for a podium. And because I mean, if you can get a start and you just don't have Timmy punch you, you might be winning the moto. You know what I mean? So I thought it was a good raid.
Podium
race.
speed, like quali race, he was P3. Like he's definitely not slowly because he's already been on the box, but like slowly more cementing himself in that mix consistently. Like I feel like for him, he would be happy just being in the top 5. Like if Adamo could string the next 2 to 3 rounds where he's in the top 5 overall and like maybe throw in a podium as well, like that's perfect for him,
Yeah. Hold up. Adamo got 2nd overall in Germany. Am I tripping?
That's with the do you remember him and Fernandez swapped results? They went 3-7-7-3 and they had that collision,
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so yeah, Damo's been riding good. I'm looking at these results. He's had some 6th places. He's had a podium. Now he gets a 4th place. I mean, as you mentioned, if he stays in the top 5, bro, I feel like that's a really, really good season. Honestly, rookie year. I mean, that's pretty damn good. You know what I mean? That's pretty damn good.
And he just flies under the radar as well. Like a lot of people just paint him with how to say it. Like, just prefacing, this is not my opinion. But I feel like some people with his world title don't give him respect. Like, let's say the big 3 rookie of the rookie class going into MXGP were Kai, Tom, and Adamo. Now, yeah, obviously, I would listen and arguably accept that someone arguing that Tom and Kai are better riders or have better careers overall on a 250. However, don't let his title defending year where he hated his bike and did awful, like I think he would admit that for his standards it was awful. Don't let that fool you, because last year he was way in contention to sort of getting a 2nd world title, and overshadowed by Simon and Kai, and ultimately he wasn't in it till the final say, but he had flashes where he was the best guy that weekend, hands down. One in Trentino, like he's a very good rider, and like I've said before in this podcast, speaking to him in the preseason, when we did a quick podcast, he agreed with me that it's quite a nice position to be in where people are focusing on Tom and Kai and sort of forgetting about him, because then if he gets a 10th or an 8th, yeah, cool, it's Adamo, or if he gets a 4th, it's cool, it's what he can do.
Yeah.
I think in a few years with sort of an older Febvre, an older Herlings, Timmy's a bit older than these fresh crop of guys, and Lucas leaving, like there's definitely potential for Adamo to be MXGP winner and champion. Like it shapes up perfectly for filling these voids that everyone worries about, like it's running out of talent or running out of caliber. No, it just creates an opportunity for people like Adamo, who are world champions, and Renaux, and I mean, Jonas is a little bit older, but for example, if he's still around, like they're consistently going to be in that mix. Like it just, the wheels always move, mate. It's never going to stop. Do you think the MXGP are going to be stuck with me and you racing? Like, no, they're not. We're going to be all right.
Hey, potentially. You never know.
Yeah, well, like, I feel like if they launch us at Fox, we'll be a privateer.
Oh yeah, that was rough. You're never going to see the light of day of those rides. But yeah, I was just looking at the results for Adamo, and since France, he's been consistently right around that top 5. Before France, we're not going to look at. After France, he's been doing great. And as you brought up, like the rookies, him, Tommy V, and Kai, you can almost like they've all had those weird rookie moments. Does that kind of make sense? So it's like Adamo's had the rookie moments in the beginning of the year. Now he's kind of like building, being more consistent. Tommy V, one moment he's winning, and the next moment he's out, and kind of same thing with Kai. Like he's had some great moments, great finishes, and then some weekends, like this weekend, he's out, So if Adamo can just be there every single weekend, just continue to build, at the end of the year, he's going to be the best rookie in like terms of like points, So, yeah, good job, Adamo. And then wait, I'm on the wrong results page over here.
We got the defending champ.
Yeah, defending champ. Honestly, he just looked kind of off. I don't know. I mean, from my point of view, he kind of just looked off. He was battling further back in the pack than I thought he would. And a 5th place is now where Febvre probably definitely not wants to be. So it's kind of weird to see him just in that mix. I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, like this style of track is definitely French in ways, or would suit riders from France or it's Italian. Obviously, it's an Italian track. Like these are that was a typical or a track that he's definitely ridden before, and that Romain definitely would have ridden before, training, etc. And he was kind of just limited with bad starts. I'd say his riding overall wasn't awful. I think both races he started just inside the top 10 on the first lap. He would clock over the line at like say 10th or 9th. So all in all, yeah, it's not a poster weekend. I saw him leaving quite early. Normally, Romain's like knocking around for ages. Like if you've probably seen some of my interviews, he's running past Valin, screaming stuff. Like he's normally there quite long. But I saw him scooting off pretty quick with his gear bag. So yeah, how can we say for a defending champ that fifth's anything amazing? It's just one of them ones. I think Romain, go out on a limb, I think he's got a win in him this year. Overall win.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I think so. I think so for sure.
And I think he's probably quite determined to get one, just to like I was just saying with Adamo in his defending MX2 season, it didn't get a win. I feel like as a champion, you definitely want to have at least one win in your defending year. Like I don't know, like maybe I'm just a bit weird with motocross like that, but I've always would picture a champion if they didn't win in the following year, like raise eyebrow. And Romain's definitely good enough and shown signs that he can put it together in a weekend here, somewhere between now and the end of the season.
I think I think like in the next 3 rounds we're gonna see him fight for a win. I think so. That's just my gut feeling. I don't know why. I just got a gut feeling that he's gonna come out pissed off. Maybe even this upcoming weekend in Portugal, he's gonna come out pissed off and try to get Portugal. What did he finish at Portugal last year? I mean, he finished second, right behind Lucas.
That was a complete mudder as well last year. Jesus.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if Roman does that next weekend, or this weekend, I should say.
I want to say Adamo won there last year as well. I'm going to check. Carry on talking. I'm going to check that. Now you say that.
But shout out to Calvin Vlanderen. I think maybe first time, I was going to say once again, but I think this is actually the first time I've seen him top 5 off a start. I'm pretty sure. So that was awesome to see in Moto 1. Moto 2 kind of got a worse start. I had to go through the pack. But it was really cool to see Vlanderen up there battling with the boys. Tommy V, he's back from injury. He finished 7th place. And he had some flashes. You know, Tommy V is going to be a great starter. So he was up there running. I think it was Moto 1 that he had a great start. And then he kind of faded down to 5th. And then Moto 2...
a little tip over.
Yeah, he had a tip over kind of right before, I think it's right before the finish where it's like a left and then finish, like that coming down the hill. I think that's where he crashed. He was in 5th there and crashed down to 9th. So it could have been a 5-5 day for him, but it went a 5-9 day for him. To be honest, it's kind of where we probably should put Tommy V right now. You know, if he gets a good start, he's going to be battling, but then I don't know if he has the pace to run with, say, Jeffrey, Lucas, Timmy, as well as like Max. Max was riding great in Moto 1 too. So let Tommy get some races back under his belt. I feel like he's, what was it? It was like France? No, which one did he crash in the start?
France.
Was it France?
France, he broke his rib. Didn't race Germany after attempting to, then miss Latvia, and was disappointingly returned in Italy in terms of, that's what he said. He was I think he probably was hinting at, if he knew how rubbish it would be, probably wouldn't have bloody come up. Probably would have waited. No, I'm joking.
No,
but Vlanderen was really good. Vlanderen needs his credit. Like that first moto, especially, passed up to 3rd for a couple laps and really showed pace. Like, dare I say, like moto winning speed. And he is like so forgotten about in that realm, or maybe not held to the standards of is a podium guy and would expect that for himself. And he said in my interview that he was like relieved that he can still run that pace and do it again. And that's how easy this can switch for these riders when you have a bad season by your standards and have bike problems, etc. It really makes you lacking belief of what you can actually do. So it's nice for him to actually have some positive weeks testing after Latvia. Sort of get the bike more stable, as he was telling me, and just a general base where they can just then build from and go week to week and not be sort of scratching their heads And I mean, call that a different weekend. He could have been on the box if he managed to get out of the gate a bit better in race 2.
Yeah.
And then the man of the hour on Saturday, Jan Pancar.
Yep. Dude.
How good was he?
Bro, second place qualifying, that was phenomenal. And even in the
Slovenia
motos too,
1-1.
bro. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Shout out to Timmy and Pancer. I'm sorry if I pronounce it I'm gonna say Pancer. Pancar. Pancer. I don't know. I'm gonna mess it up eventually every single time. But yeah, I was I'm gonna say not surprised. I mean, kind of surprised because he hasn't been up there, but also not surprised because if you go back to Lockett last year, he did kind of the same thing. He got a great start. Track's really hard to pass. Very more one line. You could just find a flow, and he was flowing behind Timmy. And look what he did at Lockett last year. He's kind of did the same thing in that qualifying race, getting second. And then in the motos, bro, he actually rode phenomenal. Like, phenomenal. He got 8th place in Moto 1. I'm pretty sure he did better in Moto 2. He got 7th in Moto 2. And he was running 5th place for a while in Moto 1 too. So, yeah, shout out to Pancar. That was a great ride. And Timmy, if he doesn't have a DNF, it's not even a DNF. If he didn't have that was it a front wheel issue? I would assume
Peg got caught in his front wheel and rips so many spokes out.
So if he doesn't have that, are we thinking possibly he's top 3? Like, possibly
110%. Tim was fired up that last weekend. He got his first qualifying win of the season, and on Yamaha. He showed in race 2 what he would do with a start. Now, admittedly, it was so chaotic what happened with his front wheel. Like, it arguably wasn't in a great position to run for a race win, let's say, but more than enough to be in and around the podium. Like, he definitely would have been on the box. I think overall, at minimum, it's pretty on course for his season thus far. High and a low. It feels like every weekend's got a high and a low, and it's always the second race that's better. Even if it's like more at the beginning of the season, he was just riding worse in race 1, then would find a bit of a better feel in race 2. This weekend, that was probably a Grand Prix that got away from him, I'd say, or a Grand Prix win.
Oh yeah, and he was riding so good in Moto 2. Obviously, we already talked about him punting Adamo out of the way. But like I think he needed to do that because he had more pace, right? He had more pace, and like if he didn't do that, maybe Herlings was going to be able to get by him, right? And Lucas was kind of creeping up too. So, yeah, it's just a bummer that, as you mentioned, that sums up his whole entire season, like literally a whole entire season. Horrible one moto, great another moto, just some fluke accidents, crashes, it's just fluke. As I brought up kind of earlier, remember, like, the grass isn't always greener. I know, like, the situation isn't the same, but sometimes, like, changing teams just takes a longer time to get going. You know, there's going to be different things that come up, such as miscellaneous things that are out of your control, like some crashes are out of his control and stuff like that, right? So, it's cool to see him just back on the podium in Moto 2, getting the win. Hopefully, he can back it up in Portugal, and we can see Timmy get on a roll here. We need him to get on a roll and like literally just get top 3 for like 5 motos in a row. Like, that's all we ask for. I don't know if that's happened at all this year.
I can't remember him having any serious momentum on his side, and it's hard for a rider like Tim, where it's easy for me and you to look at it from the outside and go, well, yeah, get P3, get some momentum going, but like, Tim's not happy with P3, even on his bad days. Like, P3, we're sitting in the camper after, like, no way is he happy about P3. We're talking about music from the early 2000s. We're talking about anything but the racing. If he's got a P3, like, what? We're not counting P3 as anything good, but I agree with you that would be a very nice shift for him to start seeing some sunny days and getting the dark rain cloud that is above him this season. I think maybe if I just keep, like, he had a broken rib in Trentino, one.
Yep.
He had, where did he have? Oh, and in Germany, arguably not going to ride after the crash in France from the start crash. Yep. Not going to ride. It's playing off to us like, yeah, I'm going to see how it feels. I don't reckon I can do it. Quickest in every session. Yeah, when ejecto Cito in race 2, but still, ignore that. He was like unreal. So I think I need to just give him a slight niggling injury, like tap him on the knee, give him a little little cut on the finger. I don't know, because he seems to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, because even at Germany in Moto 1, he got second behind Lucas, and he was battling Lucas to the end, right? He was only 5 seconds down at the end, but he was closer during the Moto, right? So, yeah, Timmy, let's just get on a roll. All right, don't have a bad moto. Let's have 2 good motos and see what happens. I know, like in Italy, it wasn't necessarily your fault. Like you didn't have a crash or anything. It's just a bike problem. But let's get that momentum going. But yeah, that's it for MXGP. That's like the top 10 right there. And now we got to talk about MX2. And for the MX2 class, it's kind of the same thing every week, I would say, in a way, but it's getting a little bit more interesting because there's a couple different players now in the mix, I think, consistently. And they have been kind of throughout the series, I guess I could say. But like Cam, he comes out, he wins Moto 2. He was dominant in Moto 2. Like, I know he didn't have like a huge gap in that moto, but he was dominant. He was riding so freaking good. And on the other hand, his teammate, Gilliam, who finished 5th overall, 5th in that moto, in Moto 2, he won Moto 1. Like, and so what I kind of mean by this is we have so many different players that can go out and win. So like you have Gilliam who won Moto 1. You have Cam who won Moto 2. Like freaking Liam Everts was on fire, and he could have potentially go after the lead if he had a little bit more pace, because he had to go through the pack a little bit more, right? Valin, who won the qualifying race, and you have Simon. We'll get to Simon here in a second, but like, just it kind of reminds me of the pro motocross scene where the 250 class is just chaotic, right? Anybody can win at any given moment. We just saw that at High Point. We're seeing that here at Italy, where the MXGP class, 450 class, we have our contenders, right? You have Herlings, we have Lucas, or we have Jet, we have Hunter, right? And then we have a miscellaneous like Deegan, aka Timmy. To be honest, Deegan's not winning yet, like Timmy is, but Deegan will be. But yeah, for me, for this MX2, Sacha coming out going 2-2, I was very impressed by him kind of toning it down and just going 2-2. Like normally, I think we would have saw on a different type of track, maybe even prior to Thunder Valley, him going to America and seeing the different tracks, like, and having that motivation to win everything. Like, I think we would have seen him go for the lead and maybe crash. And I'm glad that he was just toning it down and going 2-2, be like, hey, it's not my day. I'm going to go 2-2 and see what happens.
It's the consistent Coenens. We're changing the whole narrative, and we're going to be pushing that now from going forward. The fact that Sacha went to that track and just sort of took what comes to him that weekend, which was 2-2, which was enough for another Grand Prix victory, extends his points lead, etc., is exactly what a champion does. So if no offense, guys, I'm not saying he's going to win it. I'm just saying if we finish this season and he was champion, you'd look back at rounds like this and go, cool. Didn't Sacha really progress in the season and really ironed out them mistakes that everyone taglined him with and managed to maximise his weekend in Montevarchi? And I feel like this is a weekend which he'll remember if it all does go to plan when we finish the final race in Australia. Now, I think the Triumph boys, between them, were the quickest 2 of the weekend. Fares more so had the pace from the get-go, quickest in free practice, 3rd in time practice, I think, and basically just had serious pace all weekend. And the way he was coming through the pack in race 2 emphasised that heavily. Cam, on the other hand, didn't show as many flashes, and then it sort of progressively got better every time he got on track. And his start in race 1 was hideous. He was like 16th on the first lap and come through all the way to 7th. And race 2, he said in the press conference after that was one of the races where he couldn't not win it. Like that, he knew that was a race win there, and he wasn't settling for anything less. And when he got round Sacha, he kind of just built a steady lead there, which is ironic. Like we haven't seen many times where Sacha just straight up gets past on outright speed, I'd say. Yeah. Even though I think like in Latvia, Cam definitely had the speed to go with him, but track position is everything, and he was too far gone. But that race 2 was really cool to see a 4-way battle between Sacha, Cam, Matisse and Liam. Like that is one of the good examples of what Montevarchi did bring, a completely different method and technique and technical sort of display of racing, which was pretty cool. But as I was sweating my absolute head off watching it, I didn't appreciate it enough. I just wanted it to finish so I could go and speak to the boys and get back home. But all in all, watching it back, I think it was pretty good racing between them boys. MX2 is let's add Sim onto this mix now. Actually, no, we won't, because Liam Everts deserves his credit as well. Because Liam Everts showed what Liam Everts is capable of, and probably what he's been waiting for. And I know fourth overall is not what he'd want. However, I think this is the first time in a while he's actually been in serious contention on outright speed and what he was displaying on track to be on the podium. You know.
Yep. And touching on Cam's first moto, he did crash in lap 1, and he was 16. Yes. So he started pretty decent. Yeah. He crashed, go all the way down to 16th, and then move all the way back up to 7th with some insane pace. He was actually running faster lap times in Moto 1 than obviously Moto 2, but because of the track, that makes more sense. Josh, you're an idiot. But it was very impressive that he goes through the pack in Moto 2 and passes Sacha. That was just impressive in my eyes. And you're right, Gilliam. That's the first thing I kind of noticed from even qualifying, the qualifying race. I know Valin, he won it. He dominated it. But Valin had the biggest, they're the best start you could imagine, because one, he pulls whole shot, or he was right next to the EMX 125 guy. I forgot his name already.
Cellini, I think.
Cellini, yeah. So he was right next to him. He got into the lead, and he was gone, right? And then I was looking at the timing and scoring for that MX2 class in qualifying. There was no factory guy inside the top 10 in the first lap.
Crazy.
There wasn't. It was crazy. And then it was cool to see Perez go through the entire pack and get second. That's what it kind of mean. We saw the pace because of the qualifying, and then in Moto 1, he goes through the pack and he gets first. In Moto 2, I don't know what happened, but he lost his visor. I'm going to assume a rock hit it and broke it. That's what I'm assuming from the roost. But he was riding, as Paul said, with the bullet helmet. But he did really, really good in Moto 2. He still managed to go through and get 5th place. I'm going to pull up just the lap times here, because I have a feeling, oh my gosh, you can tell he's flying, because lap 1, he was 16th in Moto 2. And he goes to 5th? That's actually so damn impressive. I didn't know he was in 16th.
And that's funny, because Cam was 16th on lap 1 in race 1. So they literally had the same moto, near enough.
That is,
and boys are in unison. They even race together.
I was just about to say that.
The same thing.
That is crazy.
This really needs looking into. I feel like we need to get to the bottom of this, because why are they just so in sync? And
what's funny is they finished next to each other on the podium, 2-3, right? So Sacha won.
They both didn't
Perez,
look too stoked with the box either. Fares Moore looked pissed.
Yeah, he was if he had a better start, I think he's winning Moto 2, or he's battling Cam for Moto 2.
You could throw the Tim example, that was a weekend where he definitely could have won overall. Fares was fucking bad boy.
Dude, he was phenomenal, bro. So was Cam in Moto 2. You could see, as we said, 16 to 7, 16 to 5th. Liam too. You got to give some flowers to Liam, as you kind of brought him up. He was riding more up front, if that makes sense. He's been the 4th place, 4th, 5th place every weekend, but it's 10-second gap, if that kind of makes sense. He's just kind of further back than those guys in the top 3. This is the first weekend I've seen him finally up there, going for it, battling. He got 3rd in Moto 2. We finally see that Liam that we've been waiting for, and I know he's had that ankle injury, so I'm pretty sure it's kind of more healthy now. And potentially when we get to Portugal this weekend, the following weekend at South Africa, we'll see that old Liam where he's flying and he's going after moto wins. But he's been consistent, bro. That's when you think of Liam Everts this year, I think 4th place, consistent, no matter what, he's going to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Liam is. It's hard, because I think he's someone that wouldn't make any excuses now. I think unless there's stuff that's happened which we don't know, any setbacks to that injury, he definitely wouldn't be happy with the weekend, and definitely wouldn't not the weekend, sorry, with the season thus far. And like you said, this was the first time I think he's actually moved forward and sort of chased that lead pack. Race 1, come back from just inside the top 10 to be up there with them boys.
Yep.
And yeah, I think it's a nice little reminder to everyone that Liam can mix up with these boys as well. Like, he's yet to get a Grand Prix victory this year. He's definitely capable of, because who are the different winners we had? We've had Fares, Cam, Simon, Sacha, and Valin. So I still think Liam is going to make that 6 out of the MX2 group, which is a good, healthy amount of different winners. And also, a little sneaky, just throwing out there, he has won in Portugal before. So maybe this weekend.
And isn't Liam like or not Liam, but isn't Portugal more of like a sandish track, right? To a degree.
Nowadays, the last 2 years have been complete mudders, so it's quite hard.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I remember when I went to Portugal, which obviously was the first time last year, it was like kind of like loose on the top, like not sand, but it was like, it's bright. Like if you've played MX Bikes, MX Sim, the MXGP game, and you've ever played Agada, the actual soil looks like that. It's bright, dark orange, really orange. It looked sick. Like, you get there and you just want to ride a bike. It looks so inviting to just go and ride before they ride it, or before the heavens open. Then you just stick to the media center.
If I'm not mistaken, last year he was winning at one point and tucked the front. If I'm not mistaken, one of the motos. So hopefully he has a better Portugal this year. And with having that momentum from this weekend, I'd say kind of momentum, kind of like show like, hey, I got the speed back. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Liam top 2 fighting for a win in Portugal. And the next guy on the list, Valin, Moto or qualifying win. In the motos, I didn't really see him too much. I'm assuming he just had like mediocre start and he kind of had to just work his way up. Yep, he had started 8th place in Moto 1. In Moto 2, what am I even talking about? He started 2nd place and he went down to 4th. So maybe I'm just thinking of Moto 1, where I didn't really see him that much, but he moved up. He goes 5-4 on the day for 5th or 4th place overall. Nope, just kidding. What did I say? For 5th place overall. I would say based off of the last 3 weekends, it's not the result that he was probably looking for, because I mean, he's been on the box, I feel like, the last 3 weekends, no? Or the last 3 rounds?
4. I think
the
last
4 rounds. Yeah, so Latvia, he was on there.
I feel like after you win a quali race, you kind of will really feel like you can win, Like, I think it's fair, especially he's had the momentum, arguably one of the best momentum swings out of all these guys, 4 rounds in a row. I think it's fair for him to be a little bit disappointed not to be on the box or even win. He's now moved into that next bit of his career where he's got his first win. So it kind of, I've done it once, so why can't I do it twice, and why can't I do it consistently, sort of thing. Yeah. So definitely Valan's expectations are moving towards podium is not only acceptable, obviously not, but like where you can grade him on a good weekend for him, where he'd be happy, I think it's podium minimum.
Yeah, I mean, and now that I just looked back at the last 4 rounds and him being on the box with the win, anything less than a podium, it's going to be like, okay, what happened? And I'm not going to be surprised if that trend continues of him getting podiums, if that makes sense, of like him being a 3rd, a 2nd, another win. And that's the whole 250 class, right? It's so chaotic. Yeah. Like, Valin has been on the box 4 weekends in a row, and he got 5th place, and we're like, oh, Liam was riding great, Cam was riding great, Perez was riding great, Sacha was like, that's how impressive this MX2 class has been, to be fair. But one guy that hasn't been that impressive, I want to be honest, he just hasn't been. I mean, he got 3rd was it 3rd in Moto 1? I think it was. Yeah. 3rd in Moto 1, and then in Moto 2, I don't know what happened in Moto 2, but he finished 12th, and he was not in 12th to start the race. If I'm not mistaken, he was like, wasn't he near the front? I swear he was near the front in Moto 2.
He started, him and Sacha went over the line. He was credited the whole shot. He got the whole shot.
Okay.
Because, right, in MXGP, sorry, just to fill in a little bit of a funny, not funny because I felt a bit bad for him. But you can have a moto like Simon did, where you whole shot the bloody thing, and then by the third corner, you've been shoveled back to 7th or 8th, then finish inevitably 12th. So you're the defending champion, eating a bit of humble pie. Not that he's cocky, but getting a bit of a kick in the teeth, finishing 12th. He has to roll round to the back of the podium, wait for everyone to do their interview, and then stand there with his Fox plate doing the thumbs up. Poor bloke. Like, felt so bad for him. I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, I couldn't believe, now that you say that, I remember, like, that's what I thought. I was like, bro, he was up there. Like, he was next on the whole shot, and I forgot that he pulled the whole shot. And then he goes to 12th. 12th! He starts in first, and he goes to 12th. That's the defending champ. Like, what is going on with Simon Langfelder? Especially after he gets third in Moto 1. Like, it... Now, I know the track's going to be different. I know they added water. I know it's going to be slick. But you can't be getting 12th if you're the defending champ.
No.
And you can start first.
Not at all.
I mean, is it... Because didn't he have a... Like, what? I forgot. He pulled off at Latvia because of the crash. Is it still maybe lingering? You know, maybe. See, I know it's been 2 weeks, but I don't know.
But this is what we all keep going back and forth when I say we all. I see me, you, and anyone I speak to about this on a GP weekend. It's like everyone's fallback is, oh, he was ill in Germany. Yep, granted, but that doesn't explain why Trentino was a little bit below par, why France was below par, why Germany, we got an excuse. We can accept that one. Latvia was the crash, but overall, again, he got a whole shot and got shuffled way back. He did the one-hander and got shuffled way back. Yeah. And then this weekend, looked better in quali. Like, he obviously went down with Sacha and everyone else in the first turn and come back to, I think, 12th, ironically. But still, like, from last to 12th in a quali race in stupid heat, you can't be angry. But then it's just scratch your head again with him on the Sunday's racing. Like, I don't get what's wrong with him. There's got to be an underlying issue. I keep saying it. Simon Langfelder is way, way, way too good to be getting 12th or anything outside the top 5. Let's be honest. He's the number one. He's the defending champion. Like, he's better than this, surely.
Like, from going from the start of the year where Argentina, he goes 1-1 on the day, right? In Spain, the second race, now he didn't win the overall, but he goes 3-3 on the day. Mm-hmm. Switzerland, now he didn't get the overall. He did get the overall. He went 1-3 on the day. Sardinia, he goes 2-1 on the day. So what is that? That's 3 out of 4 wins. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden in Trentino, Moto 1, 10th place. Moto 2, 3rd place. France.
I mean, it's just falling off a cliff.
Then, France overall 5th. Germany overall 5th. Latvia overall 13th. I literally had to scroll down. 13th. So it's like, and those 5th places too, it's like one moto is good, one moto is like what we just saw at Italy, where it's like 12th. It's weird. It's just so weird to see that after the first 4 weeks, we're like, oh, Simon's probably going to run away with this. I don't know. Just so confusing.
And with him, he's now gone from second in the championship. Well, he's gone from leading the championship to then being 30 odd points down to Sacha to now being 4th in the championship. So the Triumph boys have leapfrogged him. Farah's is second, McLellan's third. Like, the whole picture of this championship has just been turned upside down. And as a fan, I feel like the general consensus, unless you're German, would be this is unbelievable because, like you said, I mean, getting all them wins to begin the year, it was like, great, this season's going to be pretty boring. Yep. And then, he's kind of just showed everyone that, or everyone else has showed what they can do, open up the window for them to sort of throw their name in a hat. And this all goes back to what I was saying, like, when people say America's taking all MXGP talent, so let's say Coenen goes, etc., and let's say, for argument's sake, even though he definitely won't, but let's just say you take Kai away from us, but I'm going on a limb, he's not going to leave MXGP. These people, Fares, McLellan, Everts, Valin, like, they all turn into like the riders that everyone loves and the kids look up to, and they're going to get Grand Prix wins. Like, that morphs them in to like the current crop of riders, you know?
Yeah.
So everyone needs to stop that narrative. Get off X. Stop saying it. And if you think it's so clever to say, oh, they all want to come to America, yeah, mate, obviously they'd probably rather that you earn so much more money there. Yeah, you probably do want to race there, bud. If you get a 250 win in America, it's like 50k. It's definitely not 50k in Europe. It's far from 50k.
Yeah, Sacha got a bag.
That's from the manufacturer. That's from the manufacturer. I'm not saying from the. I know MXGP don't pay. I know that. I'm not dumb. Okay. I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying.
No, and you're kind of right to a point too, where some of these guys probably don't even want to go to America because there's a lot of different factors. Well, that, but also a lot of factors of like they got to move their entire life overseas, you know, and maybe they don't want to do
learn supercross.
Yeah, and learn supercross because that's set 18 weeks, 17 weeks,
and
right?
That pays your contract. Like if you can't ride supercross unless you're an absolute phenom like Sacha and Lucas, you're not getting a deal in America or anything like amazing.
Yeah, and yeah, I just think there's a lot more factors that go into coming overseas. Now, with that being said, as a fan of all of these guys and want to see them race the best guys every single weekend, I wouldn't mind Kai coming over. I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind him.
Yeah, you need to leave my angels alone, brother. You've got enough. You've got Jet, you've got Hunter, you've got Hayden, you've got Prado. You've taken Prado from us.
We got Prado, we got Lucas now, we got Sacha.
You've got everyone. You've got all of them. We're gonna be left with, I don't know, Makula's gonna be like 5-time world champion before it's all said and done.
Hey, shout out to Julius, man. Shout out to him.
Wait, can we get to him somewhere? Because
we can get to him.
He was lurking somewhere after the post race. He was lurking.
Let's just get to him right now, man. I mean, I don't really have much besides after Simon, right? But like, we gotta show love to Mikula. That was a great ride. And we pull up the exact results because in Moto 1 he got 6th place. 6th place.
He was running up there with the boys.
Yep. So shout out to him. And in Moto 2, he didn't have the greatest of starts, but he moved through the pack. He goes 12 to 8th. So he goes 6-8 on the day, and that gives him 7th place overall. Great job, Julius. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, well, if you watch the interview, notice the same backdrop he had to another rider on there. Just try and piece that together, guys, and what he was doing over there. But overall, Mikula is turning heads, let's say, which ties in with that quite nicely. He's riding phenomenally. I think he could get a podium for the end of the season, and I pray he does. Like, I think it's so cool for Czech rider, you Americans, Czech Republic, or I think they've actually changed the name now, but I know it as a kid, Czech Republic. If he gets a podium, that would be the first Czech rider ever to get a podium. His result in Trentino was the best result for any Czech rider as well. So basically, the better he does, the standards of riders coming through in Czech are only going up as well. Like, it kind of creates a new avenue of maybe riders from that country, like, oh my god, like, I don't know, maybe more dads and crazy moto dads put more money into their kids and take them to Europe, around Europe. You know, it does have that sort of springboard. Like, look at Jonas being a world champion in Latvia. Then you've got the Razulis brothers, and then you've also got Kubelins and EMX 250. Like, it's just cool for these smaller countries with lesser motocross riders or historically coming from there to be so good. And another privateer hero, or satellite, or whatever you want to say, Maxim Renaux. Did you see the video of them on Instagram? How happy and stoked they were for 8th overall, the team.
I did, and I was kind of like, for me, I was confused as hell.
Yeah, I was like, everyone's confused.
I was like, what team was that for? And like, is this for MXGP? And I thought it might have been like for like a, say, Superbike or MotoGP or something, because it was like just Honda in general. And because that's kind of where I saw the shirts. Like, I just saw like the Honda logo or whatever. And then I saw who posted it, and it was like Honda HRC. I'm gonna mispronounce it, Garibaldi or something like that.
Garibaldi.
Garibaldi. Sorry for this pronunciation, but I think he posted it, and I'm like, wait, that's MXGP. And then I put 2 to 2 together and be like, oh, that's Maxim Renaux.
Yeah, he's we've given him enough credit on this podcast. I feel like that he's been really good, and I mean, maybe bad journalism for me. I feel like he's got 8th before. I'm gonna check it. I feel like he's got 8th before. Am I wrong? Like, he's been well good. I know he hasn't been, maybe not being able to piece 2 motos together, but he's definitely been in the mix.
Didn't he put like some couple of results?
He got 8th in France.
Yeah, I was just about
You
to
got 8th
say.
in France.
Yeah, I wonder, maybe that's just like 2 top 10s. Maybe they're happy about. I mean, they got a
I
top 10
don't know,
Alabia
but
too.
I'm not hating because it's cool to see everyone so stoked. Like, good on you. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the Italian aspect of Maddie, like getting a home.
Oh,
top
that
10 in
probably
their
is it. You know what I mean?
home country.
Hometown.
But like, come on, guys. Like, you're pretty good. Like, credit. I'm giving you credit. You're sick, but like, let's get Grout Maxi in the old top 5, and I'll come over and cry with you. No, I'm joking. I feel like I'm being a dick, but that's really cool. Happy for everyone a part of them. One more ride I just want to give some credence to is Noel Zanox, purely for his qualifying ride.
That was good.
People could say, well, everyone crashed in the first corner. Well, that's part of motocross. You've got to survive the first corner. It's the scariest bit, and he did it. Showed some good speed. He spoke to me off camera, I think it was, and I think he wants to get a bike. I feel like he wants to be able to get out the gate on his bike and be able to be in that position with the front boys regardless. And he did emphasise in the interview as well how he could have, done with actually making some passes to begin with, and he feels like he could even held on for 4th. But overall, a former EMX 125 champion, vice champion in EMX 250 last year, runner up to obviously Yanis. Like, he's a very, very good rider. Had a real tough go at it with injuries this year. Don't let it pull the wool over your eyes and think that he's just another kid that can't do it in MX2, because he definitely can. The Van Vemery team is sick. Shout out to the crew chief Scott Lillis, great guy.
Shout out to him.
Former, and when Michael Moseman was on Husqvarna as an amateur, he was his mechanic. He was He was a mechanic for Metcalf. He's had a. If anyone wants to know that story, go on to Cult Moto, look through the archive on our Spotify, and you'll find a podcast that I did with him. And he once helped me with my bike when it was blown up via FaceTime, trying to teach me and walk me through how to fix it or determine what the problem was. So overall, good team, good people, and that is my MX2 roundup, to be honest, mate. It's so hot in England, I don't even know what day of the week is. I'm sweating.
Yeah, just before we go real quick, just give me your podium for Portugal, all right? Who do you have on the podium?
Jeffrey, Lucas, Adamo.
Ooh, okay. So Jeffrey going 117 wins. Okay, I like that. For me, I'm going to say I think Lucas gets a little bounce back. I say he maybe goes perfect, all right? Second place, hard to bet against Herlings. It's just hard to bet against him. And you're leaving off someone that's your boy. I can't believe you left him off. I got Timmy in third, all right? Timmy's going to have a solid weekend.
I'm going to regret that.
You are 100% going to regret that.
I'm going to regret that.
But yeah, that has been the Italy little show. Thank you guys so much for all.
MX2 prediction?
Oh crap! I forgot about MX2. Okay, what is your podium for the MX2?
Now, just because I've thrown Adamo in for a podium, I'm just gonna go out on even more of a bit of a crazy one. Liam's gonna win. He's gonna get a second Grand Prix win there. Second's gonna be Sacha. Third's gonna be. Who do I want to have a go at me less? Fares or Cam? I'm going to save Cam to win South Africa. So I'm going to go with Fares to podium in Portugal.
Okay, that's fair. For me, for my MX2, I'm going to say, I'm going to go with Trump. Dude, it's so tough. Look, I've left
Valin off. He's going to go at 1-1-1. Now I've said that.
For real, it's so tough to pick. So I think you have to put Sacha on there, right? He wants to bounce back. If you guys remember last year, he did a front flip. He literally nosedived into the mud and flipped over his bike. So he's going to get a bounce back, but I think he's going to end up third place. Second, I'm going to go. It's hard to bet against Fares right now. He's on fire. His speed is on fire. So I'm going to go for Fares in second. And then I'm going to go with the boy Cam for first. All right? I'm just doing it. Okay. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
Everyone happy. We've got everyone happy.
Don't judge me.
Everyone covered.
Cam is going to win Portugal. Then he's going to South Africa and win that. And he's going to be only down 20 points in the championship at the end of South Africa. I don't know if that's
Did I tell you I was going
possible,
to South Africa? I'm going to South Africa now.
You're going to South Africa. That's insane.
Portugal, on the Monday, fly to Spain, so fly to Madrid, then Madrid to South Africa, land there Tuesday. So any of you listening from South Africa, let me know. Come say hi. I'm pretty stoked to go to a real flyaway because that is a new experience for me. New continent, new area of the world, Johannesburg. It's going to be sick. Very excited.
That's actually so sick.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
That's actually so sick. Make sure you stay safe while you're going there. That's so safe.
Don't ever Google crime rate in Johannesburg when you get told you're going, because it will actually make you scared.
You're not wanting to go.
Yeah, it's like just put crime statistics Johannesburg at the minute. It scares you off. But then I'm sure it says that about everywhere. Like It all can't be that bad. Insert me never being back on this podcast, and you've got to fill in the gap with some random guy and just say, yeah, Ed actually didn't make it back. It was pretty shit for him, but he said he loved it before it all went wrong.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, that's gonna be so sick. I'm excited to see what you have to say about it when you get back. But yeah, that's been the Italy show. Thank you guys so much for all the love on all the MXGP stuff. Make sure you guys stay tuned for this weekend reactions. We don't have pro motocross this weekend, so it's only GP, so that's all you're going to see. And we'll just have the reactions come out later or on this weekend. We don't have anything else for the week. So make sure you guys just stay tuned for that. And then we'll be back next week with an MXGP show. So much love, guys. Stay safe. And we'll catch you guys back here next week. We're out. Peace.